I had 5 losses in week 4 of my predictions. I thought the Bills were going to beat the Bengals. The Bills were just scorching hot, playing good football. Nice combination of the run and the pass. And I knew the Bengals are good on defense, but I just thought the Bills had enough to pick up the W. Now maybe this will get this Bills team down to earth, and now maybe the media would just fall back a little bit because they were giving Buffalo a little bit too much attention. It's still a young season. I understand they got off to the nice start, but there's still a lot of games left to play. The Bills lost this one 23-20. I knew this one could go either way between the Cowboys and the Lions. I knew Calvin Johnson was going to have a big day, but I expected Tony Romo to connect with his targets all day. He had over 300 passing yards, but he threw 3 interceptions. Those interceptions were the difference in this game. Now the Lions win this close one 34-30. Next up, the Steelers versus the Texans. I expected the Steelers defense to come up big, but Forster had over 100 yards on the ground, and Big Ben and Mendenhall got hurt. The Texans pick up the W here, 17-10. Next up, the Chiefs versus the Vikings. I expected AP to run all over that Chiefs D. He didn't score and only had 80 yards. Pretty good day for McNabb, but the Chiefs sneaked by the Vikings 22-17. The Jets versus the Ravens. Now, I thought after that Jets loss to the Raiders, they were going to open their eyes and turn it up a bit. But that O-line looks completely lost without center Nick Mangold, and the Ravens were just blitzing the Jets left and right. When Mark Sanchez has too much weight on his shoulders, he kind of folds up. Not much offense from the Jets, and a hell of a game for that Ravens defense, scoring a few defensive touchdowns. Now, going into my Week 5 predictions, this is straight off the head. I'm not writing anything down. First up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Buffalo Bills. Now, like I said, I think that Bills team is going to come down to earth. I expect a few losses from them this year. But now this Philadelphia Eagles team is kind of overdue. Now, I know that on defense they're lacking the linebacker position. They don't have good linebackers. But in this one, I expect Michael Vick to have a big game, and I expect LaShawn McCoy to run all over that Buffalo Bills defense. I got the Eagles in this one. Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints versus the Carolina Panthers. Now, we all know what start Cam Newton has gotten off to, a great start for him. Many critics thought that he couldn't throw the ball, but I think that he already proved himself in that category. And wideout Steve Smith is just looking like he's in his prime again. And he has 2 good tight ends, Shockey and Olsen. But I have to go with the New Orleans Saints in this one because I don't see that Panthers defense slowing down Drew Brees and that Saints aerial attack. He's going to be just slinging all day. I have the Saints in this one. Next up, we have the Oakland Raiders versus the Houston Texans. Now, Arian Foster just ran all over that Steelers defense last week, and I expect him to do the same against this Raiders defense. Andre Johnson is going to have a huge day. Matt Schaub is going to have a huge day against this Raiders defense. I have to go with the Texans in this one. Next up, we have the Chiefs versus the Colts. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to say that the Colts get their first win against the Chiefs. I see Reggie Wayne and Pierre Garçon having big days against this Chiefs secondary. I'm going to say, like I said, I got the Colts in this one. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, we all know how good the Bengals are defensively. We haven't seen much from this Jacksonville Jaguars team all year on both sides of the ball. They don't have many bright spots besides Jones Drew, and I expect this Bengals defense to shut him down. So I have to go with the Bengals in this one. It's going to be a very low-scoring game because both of these teams' offenses aren't too good. Their offenses are kind of flat, but I got the Bengals in this one. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals versus the Minnesota Vikings. Now, the Cardinals played a pretty good game last week against the Giants, and they basically got cheated of a win because that was a fumble by Victor Cruz. The NFL made a bad call on that one. The Vikings don't have much besides Adrian Peterson, so I have to go with the Cardinals in this one. Expect a big day from Larry Fitzgerald. And next up, we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the New York Giants. The Giants they're basically surprising a lot of people this year, so I have to go with the Giants in this one. Eli Manning is going to have a good day against that weak Seahawks defense. And Amar Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs is just going to run all over that Seahawks defense. So I got the Giants in this one. Next up, we have the Tennessee Titans versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Titans are surprising a lot of people off to a very nice start. But the Steelers defense, even though they've been lacking this year, I expect them to come up big against the Titans. Matt Hasselbeck has been looking very good this year, even without his number one target, Kenny Britt. But I expect the Steelers defense to come up big. I have the Steelers in this one. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers with a big win last week against who did they beat? I think the Eagles they beat last week. I have to go with the 49ers in this one. They're just playing pretty solid ball this year. I expect a big day from Frank Gore running all over that Buccaneers defense. Don't forget Vernon Davis at tight end. Braylon Edwards might even have a big day here. I got the 49ers in this one. Next up, we have the San Diego Chargers versus the Denver Broncos. Now, the Chargers, pretty good offense. The Bengals, not too good on defense. So expect Phillip Rivers to open it up and air it out. Have a very good day, I expect him. And I have the Chargers in this one. Next up, we have the New York Jets versus the New England Patriots. Now, the Jets are just, their schedule is very tough. They're just playing all these good teams back to back, and they're not at their best right now. I have to go with the Patriots in this one. Tom Brady, he's Tom Brady. What else do you have to say? Whenever you hear Brady, this image just pops up in your head. And I expect Brady to just pick these guys apart. Wes Welker having a big day here. Ocho Cinco might even have a decent... No, he's going to be on the island. Scratch that. But like I said, Wes Welker might have a big day. And it's going to be a close one, actually. It's probably going to be like a 17-14 game. But I see the Patriots being on top. Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers versus the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Falcons coming off of a win last week, but I have to say the Packers have this one. Aaron Rodgers is just looking outstanding this year. Jermichael Finley, great receiving core for Aaron Rodgers. Good, pretty solid defense for the Packers. I have to go with the Packers in this one. Now, the Monday night game, which is a pretty good game, Chicago Bears versus the Detroit Lions. The Lions are just hot right now, still undefeated. I have to go with the Detroit Lions in this one. Stafford is just looking great. Calvin Johnson is unguardable. I expect a big day through the air for the Lions. Calvin Johnson is going to have a big game. I have the Lions in this one. Now, that's my Week 5 predictions. Let me know what you think in a comment. You could comment on who you think is going to win the games or whatever, right? Just leave comments. Thanks.